What is up, everybody? This is Chris Roy 739. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of the customized cards, both on the boards. I'm just going to take a look at one of the boards, and then we're going to take a look at a few of my own. I want to explain how one of my projects I started a while back. I had to pause it. I'm going to try and get back on it. It's called the Battlegrounds project. How that works and how that I see that going forward. And then second is just going to talk about some basic new card making stuff and why we should put it out there. So first off, I want to go ahead and go to the ones that I've made. These are just simple art remakes of cards. All the verses the same, all the abilities are the same. It is simply just a art remake. Makeover. Let's see if I can put it on slideshow here. We're not going to be able to, but that's okay. So we got a Bashai here, the regular 8/8 warrior hero. For the warrior symbol, instead of having the gray little shield, I've traded out for this sword. And I think this one is a little big. I'll give it that. But you can short it. If you wanted to, you could shorten it up a bit. But I think this type of design is something we should consider maybe moving forward. Maybe it doesn't have to be this drastic, but I would like to see some of the older signs that kind of look dull or gray be brightened up a bit. Another thing is the borders. A lot of people have commented how they like the new borders coming out. I agree. I'm just overly fancy, and I made this type of border. But I do have to say props to Cactus Game Design because they're making the old borders seem newer with just a little bit of change, and I totally love it. I would, however, love to see one day a half and half border. That would make me very happy, and to start seeing that with special cards. I don't think it should be overdone. I think it should be an ultra rare. If it's anything, maybe it's like half ultra rare, half, just angel or whatever it is. But I do think they should do that eventually, but just keep it down to a minimum of cards that use it. So this is a Bashai. I like a Bashai. We're going to move on to the next one here if we can. So I like the popping out of artwork too. We've talked about this kind of on the boards quite a bit. If we could get popping out of the artwork popping out of the card, get that kind of effect. I think that's another way we could progress forward. This I wouldn't max to 1 or 2 cards per set. I would max this to like one if it's a rare card in the set, then I'd put it on there. And I think rares are like 10 per like 60 cards or something like that. I want to say that. But yeah, here's a Dino. He's not popping out. He's just regular, but he has the same type of background, I have white and red with the red outline art. It isn't necessary, but it's just that little bit of pop. I love that everything in Redemption card making wise is the Lucian BT. I love that all the text is the same. I, however, would suggest for the names, if you want to make a card kind of pop, make it look special, like a rare, maybe you can make all the rares have a selective text around it. Just an idea, just a thought. It would put a little difference It would put a little difference between common and uncommon cards and make it visually cooler. And that's what I'm kind of pushing for is let's get our cards not only cool to play but also attractive to play. You want collectors to not want a card not only because they're rare but because they look sweet. So there's a Dino. This is one of the cards that I've been talking about. This is a battleground card. Now, my idea behind a battleground card is that you could have 2 per deck, 1 evil, 1 good in type 1/2 player. A battle card activates when a rescuing hero enters battle and all banding chains and abilities end, and a hero and an evil character enters battle and all banding chill abilities and instant abilities of those characters end. Soon as both of those enter, keeping it simple, once a hero enters, uses his ability, once evil character enters and uses his ability, then this has a chance to activate. If it's a constant ability, it still only activates when that happens. If an evil character dies, if the hero enters and then the evil character enters and kills the hero gets special initiative before the battleground effects. The time this card would activate or be able to activate would be between all the abilities activating and the opponent or you saying your initiative or asking for initiative. And it would activate from there and continue all the way to the end of the battle. And soon as a lost soul is rescued, the battleground does not work anymore. That is how I see this playing out. Evil battlegrounds may only be used for evil characters. It will only have abilities affecting evil characters. If there's a battleground that's good and evil, once you put it into play, you select whether you want it to be good or evil, and it remains like that for the rest of the game. So in this particular instance, it says, in this particular battleground, it says, if a Philistine dies in battle, which I need to change to is discarded in battle, you may discard an evil card from hand to search your deck, regardless of protection, for an evil Philistine and add him to the battle. And then I would add, may do this once per battle. May do this once per rescue attempt. Maybe even once per turn, because it is pretty powerful. And then in the red, with every battleground, you're going to have a red outline here that, even though it's an identifier, it classifies what needs to be on the board for this ability to activate. And it says only activates if all of owner's evil characters, and I need to add the words in play, are Philistines. So I think this is a cool idea. It promotes the idea of making decks that are identifier based. I feel like that's kind of the way to go. With all of the new identifier cards coming up and how balanced they are, I like the idea of pushing that even further, of making new combos, of making new decks that are based off new cards, keeping them within the limits, but keep finding new and old identifiers and building up them, and so that you can continue to widen your range of decks. I've been looking into what Magic cards do a little bit, and this is one thing that they do. They have not just Magic cards, but just cards in general. And one of the main things that they focus on are identifiers, and that's how they've kind of built up. You have, in Magic, I think you have like Cyclops and Angels and Humans, but then you also have that, but they continue to expand, especially on those identifiers. And I think that's what we need to do in Redemption, is focus less on brigades, so to say, and work more on building up classes of identifiers. All right, so we want to build a new class. Well, okay, we have Corinth. What can we do to make Corinth better and more balanced and to combat certain things? What are the hardest things to beat in Redemption right now, and what is overpowered, and what do I need to do, and what classes can we build up so that particular card can't run this without the threat of just getting totally demolished like that, and making seesaw effects so that even one thing that I'd eventually like to see is that comes to a point where it's necessary in a tournament to run at least 2 decks, because that way you can have counteracting decks. Because right now I feel like you can run one deck and just run it all the way through and it'd be okay. But it would be really cool to see it eventually come to that point. Anyway, I'm rambling on, but this is this is the Battlegrounds project. Tell me what you guys think of this. If I'm missing things that I'm not thinking about, if there are judge rulings that you're already thinking of that would mess up my kind of design of how Battlegrounds would work, tell me how that would go, guys. I do want to say for Type 2, you'd be allowed 4 of these per deck, 2 good and 2 evil. And it would be the same. And all the other same rules would be applied. And I guess I would say you can have 2 per 50 cards. No. You would only have 2. I'm sorry. You'd only have 4. You would only have 4. So, anyway, that's the Battlegrounds project. This is the full art style. Gabe presented this with David, which I think he did an amazing job on here. A lot better than I did this. This is okay. I'm not a huge fan of how I set this up, but I wanted to show you guys it because it was something I worked on a while back. Now looking back at it, I have a different taste and style, and I don't care for it. But it does look cool. It has the full art. I like the idea of it. As you can see, Benaya is red here. I do want to make that happen. I think making Benaya and Ira red would be fantastic. We have Deborah here. Just another idea of changing up design with the full art. Once again, you have different text for the name. This has different text for everything. This is what I did to the warrior class in this card, and I thought it was interesting. I made it brought out, instead of it just being gray, it gave it color. I don't know if it's that good. Honestly, I would now make that a darker yellow, so it'd be more golden, and the sword more red, so it's not just kind of there. It would be there. But I like this idea. I like this idea because it shows the puzzle piece a lot more, in my opinion. So tell me in the... Just give me a comment below and tell me what kind of styles you're liking. Are you liking this newest style that I made? Or are you kind of liking my older style, the full art and the fancy description box, not description boxes, verse box and identifier box. So here's Held Eye. This is the newest format that I like to have. This is Ira. This is an awesome idea as well, making it full art with a light border. I personally love this. I keep going back between this and this because I do like the full border because it gives it that unity that you need in a card game. However, I really love this type of style of card. It just looks it looks great. I wouldn't care if this said negate and kill this hero cannot be negated. It just looks great and you want to play it. You just want to. This is another kind of art design. Instead of making the borders a design, you take a picture and you put it behind there, so it kind of looks like the area from where he came. This is obviously not necessarily where he came from, but it gives it that jungle feel. You feel like the archer is in the tree. I personally like it, but yeah, that's another idea. Once again, I really want to push the idea of, for rare cards, make rare and ultra rare cards that the name, just the name, changes fonts. I really think that's a good idea. Okay, these are Lost Souls that were put up. I can't remember the name, but they were put up by someone on the boards, and I thought they were great. So I made them, and I wanted to show you guys. This says restrict players from putting Lost Souls into sites. I think that's a great card. It is not overpowered. However, if you don't want to run side access and you play that down, instead of trying to not get shipwrecked and have your characters constantly negated and you can't get side access, you just put that thing down and you can't even put them into sites. I really like that. I really love that concept, that idea. This is another Lost Soul. Whenever you play an evil enhancement, place a counter here. Each upkeep phase, remove X counters from this card to capture a human in battle. X is the number of players in current game. I think this is great. It's not overpowered in multi because it's up to 4. In Type 1-2 player, I don't know if this would be overpowered. Because capturing a human and having to negate a neutral card outside of the battle would be very hard to do. So I'm thinking that I don't know, guys. Because on the other hand, in Type 1-2 player, you don't get to play that many evil enhancements unless you're running a defense-heavy deck. But if you're running a defense-heavy deck and you have this in there, that is scary. And that can get out of control fast. Another thing is, every single deck in Type 1-2 player, I think, would run this. I mean, I don't see any reason not to. So as soon as you play 2 evil enhancements, it's an unholy writ that can't get... it's literally an unholy writ that can't get ruined by anything that gets rid of unholy writ. So, besides foreign sword, I guess. So, my question is, what can we do? I love the idea of once this effect happens, place a counter here, and I feel like we should take that. I love the capture a human in battle to remove X counters, but what should the X be? So I leave that up to you guys. Please comment either on the boards or on YouTube. That would be awesome, and I can tell me what I should do about this. What we should do about this. Lost Soul. Whenever you successfully block, place a counter here. Protect this Lost Soul from rescue while 3 or more counters are here. When you rescue a Lost Soul, remove all counters from this card. This card I love. Because as soon as you rescue a Lost Soul, all the counters go away. If your opponent is soul drowning like no one's business, and you have one sight and that one, then it's awesome because it just protects itself. I feel like this is a perfectly balanced card. And honestly, I would love to see it printed, like right now. I don't see any predicaments coming up about it because of the rescue a Lost Soul, remove all the counters. Because what you can do is if you get to 4 Lost Souls and your opponent is soul drowning and he goes for a rescue attempt, you can give him that Lost Soul before he rescues that lost... I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. If you get to 4 Lost Souls and your opponent is soul drowning, he's soul drowning the entire game, you can rescue the last Lost Soul before that one is unprotected. And that's why I love this card. It's just I feel like it's an equalizer. And I'm not sure if it's needed. I don't think it is, but it's just an awesome card. It's a balanced card, and I would play it, definitely. I really do. Especially in defense-heavy decks. While opponent has no other Lost Souls, protect this Lost Souls from rescue. This goes back to the other one. The other one is less about this, but it protects from Soul Drought. And I really like this. I like the idea of cards protecting against Soul Drought. Not that Soul Drought is bad. At least, I don't feel like soul drowning is bad for the reason that it should happen, because it's a game about drawing Lost Souls or not drawing Lost Souls. To quote Tim Malley, the best defense is to not draw Lost Souls. That's a funny story. When I was first playing Redemption, and when I was younger, like in, I think, 5th and 6th grade or 3rd and 4th grade, I went to one of Joey Shiver's tournaments, and Tim Malley came down. And, at that time, I was young and inspiring, and I was asking everybody, what should I do, what should I do, what should I do? But I asked Tim Malley, what should I do, what's some tips I can do to play better? And he said, I was talking about my defense for some reason, and he said, well, the best defense is to not draw Lost Souls. And when I was young, I was like, well, that's obvious. But later I did learn that sometimes you want to choose to not draw, or put in your deck cards that shuffle your deck after you've not drawn for a while, so that you can continue to have a better chance to not draw Lost Souls. So, anyway, I like this concept of harmless cards that protect against Soul Drought, but you still need to have just as much as luck to not Soul Drought or draw this card. So, this goes back to the Ira kind of design, where you have the thin, clear border. However, a full art design. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm not going to say anything more because I've already said that a lot. This is another type of design that is similar to the Deborah and Benaniah one. I like it. It's okay, but I still like, honestly, I like this the best. And as I said before, I don't think this should be done for all cards. I feel like it should be limited to rare and stuff. This is another type of design. Excuse me for a second, guys. I got a nasty cough here. Sideways cards. I think that they should be implemented. This is white for some reason. That's just a slip up on my part. It's meant to be silver. But I like the idea of having sideways cards to show off the art more. Once again, I don't think this should be done for every single card. However, for cards that would present itself in a cool way, like Philistine Outpost would be a cool sideways card. Fortresses would be cool sideways cards for certain ones. Samson, another remake of Samson, if we want one, would be a great sideways card because it's that strong man breaking down two pillars. It's just cool. And the reason to push these creative designs is so that people find the cards both beautiful to look at and want to play, because that's the first thing you look at a redemption card is, well, I wonder how this played. No, you're just like, is that a cool card? It doesn't look that cool. Moving on. We want to grab people's attention. We want to grab people's eye when they look at a card and they're like, whoa, that's a sick card. What does it actually do? Is it actually cool? We want them to look at a no ability character and be like, I want that card in my deck because it looks awesome. Anyway, this is another battleground. This says, if all heroes in battle are red and warrior class, then draw 2 cards. And this is a psalm. I like this. This is another battleground card. So, like, after all the abilities activate, red would draw 2 cards. I feel like this is balanced because it has no choice but to draw 2 cards. So, but red desperately needs drawing abilities. It's searchable because it has the psalm, which makes it a card related to music. So I feel like this is a somewhat balanced card. I feel like it's a little overpowered though for some reason, and I may be wrong, because it is a forced draw, and that would be hard. That would be hard to stare down. Rain Becomes Dust or Golden Cherubim. Because they're guaranteed to search for a card or discard the top 2 cards of your deck. That would be pretty scary. So anyway, that's the end of the cards that I have here on my computer. I'm going to go to the boards here. And from, I believe, Iron Isaac posted out a card called the Watchman. Let's look at his first one. An Ezekiel card. I like more Ezekiel cards. I would push that. Going back to the identifier thing, also, books of the Bible. I think that should be pushed more. One particular book that I would love to see pushed is Nehemiah. I would love to see Builders, Nehemiah, because there's the ultra rare, I can't remember, Zerubbabel, that can search deck and add to battle, I think, any card from Nehemiah. Now, you would have to be careful in making Nehemiah cards, but that's a great opportunity to make an expansion that's Nehemiah. I just think it's an opportunity that needs to be taken. So if you guys would be willing, if you guys could post on the boards or post on YouTube what Nehemiah cards you would like to see, I would be happy to make them and make them in multiple ways. If you guys could send me a message or post it on the boards, that would be great. Going back to this card, Ezekiel card, Prophet generic. I love that. Green, red, 8/4. 8/4 is a cool number, I feel like. I love the border with the darker image. You have the lighter border. I love the contrast of that. Look at opponent's hand and discard a card to choose a human evil character to block. May ban to Ezekiel. Good banding cannot be negated. Okay, this card is obviously overpowered right now, and we talked about it on the boards a little bit down here. So as we talked, he put out, okay, it's pretty unanimous. He is too OP. For those who don't know, it's overpowered. Here's version 2. Look at opponent's hand, or discard a card from your hand to choose an evil character to block. I love the version 2 a whole lot more. I feel like this could be printed. I feel like it's balanced enough, like it has enough uniqueness, it has the cool factor to it. I love this card. I love the idea of it, and shout outs to Iron Isaac for coming up with this idea. I love this idea. Also, a generic prophet is just cool. The either or, I love or abilities because it just creates that I said something about it down here. Let me see. I feel like this is good balance. I feel like we should make several more blocker cards. Yeah, and make a price to choose the blocker. That's what I had to look at my notes, guys. Sorry. I would like to see more choose the blocker cards, but I do feel like there needs to be more. If they make more choose the blocker cards in more popular offenses, they need to, besides Judges, because Judges has Ehud and that's popular. But if they continue to do that, there needs to be a price for choosing the blocker, because choosing an evil character to block is a very powerful weapon. Discard a card from your hand to choose an evil character to block. I don't think you need to discard a card from your hand. I said down here, underdeck an evil enhancement from hand too. I like this concept because if you're not running magicians, it would be hard to get it off the bottom of your deck. But it gives even more synergy to prophet magician decks, which don't have much synergy, but they have a little bit. And I'm all about that, taking two identifiers and connecting them in weird ways so that people build decks around them. I'm very much about that. So, shout outs to Iron Isaac. This is a great card. It really is. The Watchman. It has an awesome name, awesome art, awesome ability after we've got it balanced. Great card. I believe that there is Elijah the Guard. We were talking, this is another card that's out there. This is a card that deserves a remake because it's just been around for so long. Elijah the Guard, let's see if it loads here. I can't remember exactly the ability, but it talks about protecting tabernacle artifacts. Here we go. Elijah the Guard, gold and teal. Great colors. Warrior class. I love warrior class. Shout outs to the Red Warrior, Joey Shivers. You rock, man. Warrior class all the way. Anyway, great colors. Not a priest. That's just a funny identifier. May ban to a tabernacle priest or Israelite to protect your tabernacle artifacts and priests from opponents this turn. I like it. I like it gives tabernacle priests a boost. It pushes the Israelite identifier, which I would love to see pushed more. I would love to see interesting cards like if Complainers, a remake of Complainers and a remake of a bunch of Israelite cards, and it says like and you have like the Israelite people, and Israelite people says may go into play if Complainers is not in play. You know, it just funny interactions like that. That would be just fun. But I do like this card. I like the concept of. I would put banned to a tabernacle or an Israelite. Okay, it does have the to protect and do this. So yeah, I like that you have to ban in order to do this. And yeah, this is a great card. It really is. I'm not sure if it's ready to be like the other cards. I'm not like this should be printed right now. I don't know about that. I feel like this should be play tested because I know Tabernacle Priest has gotten a little bit of boost, not from the newest sets, but from Thesaurus, and when paired with Judges, it's pretty powerful. So giving it protection from opponents is kind of scary. So we'll see. So that's all that I have today, guys. I just wanted to take a look at just some of the cards in general, present my Battlegrounds. In closing, I just want to say the reason why we should post cards out there like Eliza the Guard, like the Watchman, is for a couple of reasons. One is to keep the dream alive, to make more and more excitement about Redemption. Because I don't care who you are, when you play any game that you love, you like to see people try and make new stuff in it. Second, you got to love the creativity of other people and seeing it happen. It just gives you joy. Third, though, is because these cards, even though they might not come fully into fruition, they will probably never say, oh, copy and paste that guy's card idea, but they will take aspects of those cards' ideas and make them into cards. So if we can just come up with more abilities and more unique things, they will print them. They won't be exactly what we make, but it does help them, and it gives them new ideas, and it never hurts to put your ideas out there and see if they come to fruition. Anyway, that's going to be the end of today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I got to shed a little bit of light on why we love to make custom cards and why we should continue to make custom cards and some of the really awesome ideas out there. I'd encourage you, go to Cactus Game Design message boards, find the program that makes a card, and make a card, post it out there, be bold, and get creative. I'll see you guys later. Bye.